education is changing because society is changing. What will education be like maybe 5-10 years from now?
The Basic Education Development Plan is the department's first long-term plan for basic education, covering formal education from 5 to 18 years old and non-formal education for youth and adults. This long-term plan shall serve as a blueprint of the country's basic education aligned with SDG 2030. This shall provide DepEd with a more holistic and comprehensive approach to education planning, which goes beyond the usual operational practice of a government agency. The DepEd development process commenced in 2017 with a scoping mission aimed to determine the scope of work and resources required in crafting the BEDP. Series of consultations with DepEd key officials and various external partners were undertaken to discuss expectations and collaboration points. An inclusive and highly consultative process of sector analysis was undertaken, which yielded the prevailing issues and challenges in basic education along participation, completion, quality, and education delivery. The Philippine Forum for Quality Basic Education, or the Education Forum, a platform for consultation and collaboration among education stakeholders and partners, was utilized in engaging partners and stakeholders. To set the direction, a high-level visioning and direction-setting workshop was conducted with the Secretary Leonor Briones, the Executive Committee members, and the Regional Directors and Central Office Directors participating. Separate sessions with children and youth were also conducted to elicit learners' views about the future, planning, and direction for education.
So far as visioning or looking at the future is concerned, we're always constrained by the present. If we are envisioning a world which is going to be different 5 years, 10 years from now, what do we teach our children? What will be the content of our curriculum? And what kind of facilities are we putting up?
Based on the result of the sector analysis and the high-level visioning, the BEDP results framework was formulated, outlining the priorities of DepEd in terms of addressing the immediate and long-term challenges confronting the basic education, particularly the immediate impacts of COVID-19. These are reflected in the intermediate outcomes, spelling out what the organization endeavors the learners to have through the 4 pillars: the access, equity, quality, and resilience and well-being, supported by the enabling mechanism under governance. Using the 4 pillars, strategies were then formulated aimed to specifically address the issues identified in the basic education sector analysis, which shall serve as the springboard for DepEd's policies, systems, programs, and projects. To cap, the BEDP preparation, a costed operational plan was included as a crucial part. To facilitate this, initial interventions were identified based on the strategies under the 4 pillars. A simulation model was developed to test the financial sustainability of policy options and come up with a realistic estimate of basic education investment requirements. After the final draft of BEDP was circulated to the key officials and Education Forum members, it was finalized and presented to the Secretary. The draft was accepted by the Secretary and endorsed by Education Forum and the NEDA SDC Technical Board. As ways forward, the BEDP shall be implemented in 2 phases. Phase 1 shall focus on addressing the impact of COVID-19 to learning delivery, issues on reading and numeracy skills, and the decentralization of projects, programs, and activities. And Phase 2 shall focus on sustaining gains institutionalization of education futures initiatives, and developing emerging education technology and innovation. We in DepEd would like to thank you for your cooperation during the development process. We hope that you continue to support the BEDP on its implementation phase as we continue to address the challenges and improve the quality of basic education in the Philippines.